Well, new tonight, authorities have confirmed a 13th mutilated cat in Thurston County. And the reward for information that leads to an arrest and conviction for whoever's killing these cats is now $36,000.
We've just learned the most recent cat was found today off Stillicum Road southeast near Lacey. Now, we want you to take a look at this map. These are the locations where the cats have been turning up at all of these locations as of yesterday. And you can see most were discovered in the Olympia area. Now, this week, we talked to a forensic psychologist. He says he believes these cat mutilations are deliberate rather than impulsive. And he adds the person responsible is likely keeping trophies of the kills and wants people to see what he's done by leaving the dead cats in a place where people will find them. The forensic psychologist also has a theory about the potential cat killer's profile.
Likely the individual is not a successful or a highly engaged individual with society, and this is a way of feeling like they get attention.
Well, that investigator says in these situations, the community needs to be alert to anything out of the ordinary because that is how people end up getting caught in these situations.
Yeah, so for how you might be able to get that $36,000 reward, Thurston County authorities say they're very interested in solving the case. They tell us it is one of their top priorities right now. If you have any information on who is doing this, if you see anybody suspicious, call 911. If you want to remain anonymous, you can submit a tip to Crime Stoppers of the Southtown by using the P3 Tips app or call 1-800-222-TIPS.
And it's also important to remind people, too, that investigators in the area in Thurston County, they're saying keep your cats, your pets inside right now, just to keep them safe.
Particularly at night. Most of these are occurring between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. Well, still ahead.
Someone is continuing to mutilate cats in Thurston County and leave their bodies displayed for people to find.
Tuesday marked the 12th incident that officials are associating with this killer. You can see the areas where each incident happened. Today, Anjay Janavel got some answers on the kind of person that would do this.
Every day, Nina Sullivan takes this bike path back and forth to work. But Tuesday, she tells me, things felt strange.
And I just had this really weird feeling that there would be something creepy on the bike trail.
Sullivan didn't know until I told her, but Tuesday, she rode right past the 12th cat officials say someone killed.
It's scary.
The people who own this business tell me they saw the cat outside their window while they had lunch.
Wants to have people see what they've done, so that's why they display it, and also keep trophies.
Kenneth Muscatel is a forensic and neuropsychologist. He has worked on murder cases for about 4 decades. He says the fact the suspect is removing the spines of these cats is bizarre.
That they're capable of planning, that they are planning. This is not random, impulsive activity.
Muscatel says he believes this suspect is older due to the resources they would need to continue to commit these brutal crimes and get away with it.
Likely the individual is not a successful or a highly engaged individual with society, and this is a way of feeling like they get attention.
Muscatel says it's disturbing, and the focus needs to be on making sure these killings don't escalate. And that's a fear many of the victims have as well.
It's really kind of terrifying. Does this stop with cats?
There's somebody with a very, I don't know, sick mind.
Reporting in Thurston County, AJ Janavel for Q13 News.
It's so troubling for so many people, and Muscatel says in these situations it really needs to come down to the community being very vigilant and keeping your eye out for anything that is out of the ordinary, because he says that is in the end how people tend to get caught.
Well, right now the reward has been increased to $36,000. Posado Safe Haven told us that information today, and that's because more groups have come forward. The public has continued to donate to these cases. And so the other thing I would just caution you is if you have a cat or a pet, you got to watch them. Don't let them out alone, because this is what they're doing. Whoever's doing this is preying on finding these animals, and they're not killing them where they're found. Whoever's doing this is killing the animal somewhere else and then leaving them at the location. There's no blood at the scene, so they probably have a vehicle. So just keep an eye out, particularly between now and 5 a.m. Almost all of these have been discovered right when the sun's coming up in the morning. A lot of times by neighbors or people coming back to work, or just people that are her out for a walk. So it's just terrible, but it's not going to stop until that person is stopped. So $36,000, that's a lot of motivation. If you think you know who it is, call Thurston County Animal Services.
Incredibly disturbing.
We want people to know what's going on, because that's the only way we're going to solve it, is by people helping us.
So that is Thurston County Sheriff John Snaza calling for people to help the department solve a disturbing case of serial animal abuse. More than a dozen cats have been killed, with the first cases reported early this year. Another one just today.
Sheriff Snaza and the families who lost pets are desperate for help. They want people to know what's happened so the cat killer can be caught.
South Bureau Chief Drew Mickelson reports.
It's honestly changed my life.
They hadn't been in the same room before.
It's right there. It's right where I live. It's outside my window.
And while they don't know each other,
It's hard for me to imagine how they got him.
they each shared similar stories with the same purpose.
It's horrendous, and I can't really get my mind around what was done to him.
Investigators now believe 13 cats, dating back to January, have been found across a 10-mile stretch of Thurston County, from Tumwater to Olympia to Lacey. Thursday's discovery wasn't far from where 2 other cats were found last week. The sheriff this week formed a task force with neighboring agencies to focus on the cases, but he's pleading for help from the public.
I guarantee it's going to be a citizen who finds the individual or reports something suspicious to Crime Stoppers.
I do realize that this could go on and the person could move to people, but this is bad enough.
Nothing can bring back the pets, considered part of their family.
Everyone needs to be involved. Everyone needs to know what's happening for the safety of their cats, animals, children.
They're speaking out, so someone will come forward.
My mother always taught me never to hate people. But I just hate what this person is doing.
They hope the next time they meet, it's to celebrate an arrest.
I just love what you had to say. You said it with such passion.
Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
And just horrible circumstances. Now, these are pretty serious crimes. A detective on the case said each count of animal cruelty in the first degree is punishable by 5 years in prison, or up to 5 years in prison. Today, the sheriff warned people not to take matters into their own hands, to instead call 911 with urgent information, or you can leave confidential tips with Thurston County Crime Stoppers, the number 1-800-222-TIPS. By the way, the reward is now up to $36,000.